I'm Andrew Reich, Vice President Business Development here at Zixi, and I'm joined by Xavier. Xavier, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Xavier. I'm the owner of Octal. So it's a company that is doing engineering mainly, and I work a lot in fashion show, developing custom solution for big show like Chanel, Dior, and this kind of stuff. It can be specific camera or a specific solution like I did for Dior for the VIP streaming.
And why don't we just hop right into it? So, why don't you, if you could talk a little bit about the Dior event this past summer, the use case, and how Zixi was able to, help you with the desired outcomes you were trying to accomplish, and how it was integrated in your overall workflow.
Yeah, so I was contacted early this year. They contacted me they wanted to stream the VIP going from the hotel to the venue. So in Paris, you have a fashion week. It's like every 3 months. You have men, women, haute couture, ready to wear, and this kind of stuff. So you have really a lot of events. And now the pre-show takes more and more importance. So it's not only showing new clothes, etc. It's also showing the VIP for the social network, etc. So it's taking more and more importance, especially with the Asian markets. So they contacted me because they wanted to have a reliable feed from the VIP car from the hotel to the venue. They had initially only 2 cars with 1 camera per car, and they wanted a good stream, good quality, because they are filming with cinema camera like Arri, Sony Venice, and this kind of stuff, and something really reliable because it's a one single shot, you cannot lose it, and they integrate this into the main feed. So it's really like a kind of remote production, but from a car to the venue. Because VIP arrive, and then we can really include it into the current mix. So they change between cars, between VIP coming to the venue. There's kind of Steadicam also when they arrive, so you have a lot of camera around. And the VIP car was somehow small because it's only a couple of cars, a couple of cam, but it's really important because it's the most important VIP. And the complexity that you are in a city, it's center Paris, so you have a car moving around the city, so it's quite a complex and challenging environment. It's not just sitting there and with fixed setup, it's really moving. So it was quite complex. So I contacted Kiran from OB. I work a lot with him for various stuff. I use this encoder to get the signal from the camera over IP. And then I use Zixi for the bonding because the environment was quite challenging. So the 5G was mandatory. So I use multiple 5G modem in the car. So I had 4 modem from 5G using multiple SIMs from different operators to be able to have the most reliable signal possible. And I was also having a Starlink Mini on the windshield in front of the car. So I was mixing like 5 different networks, 4 from 5G and 1 from Starlink, to be able for Zixi to handle the bonding properly. So the workflow was camera to OB encoder to Zixi for the bonding, and then to AWS, and then back to the venue where I was Zixi back to the decoder and feeding it to the router mixer for the actual realizator.
Awesome. No, and that a lot of great information in there. But just to kind of zone in a little bit, you mentioned how. Sorry, I'll start that through me off. There's a lot of great information in there, and obviously, Dior Fashion Week is a big event. You'd mentioned that the environment with moving cars and being in a big city, the environment can be tricky for this type of production and what you were trying to accomplish. So directly, how was Zixi able to help you with this operation and production?
Zixi was really a key element in this setup because you have a lot of news gathering encoders and solution from LiveView or other stuff like that, but it's for news gathering. So they are totally fine with a shitty network signal that goes down to 1 megabyte with a lot of artifacts, and they use embedded modems, and they are totally fine with it. Here we are at an event on the level of Super Bowl. They have 30 cinema cam, and they want really the best quality, because when you take the time to put FX6, Venice, and Arri camera, you want really the top quality in terms of streaming. and you need a network that is really reliable. And with this kind of solutions, they usually have not constant bitrate, so they have different bitrates varying along the time. So you have sometimes artifacts, etc. On here, it's impossible to have that in live during the show. So having Zixi was really fantastic because I was able to feed all my encoded video directly to Zixi on having multiple feed in the cloud in AWS. The setup is really cool, having this flexibility. Like it started with 2 camera in 2 cars, and I end up with 4 cars with 2 camera per cars. So having this flexibility to just, okay, I need more, I just pop the new feed in AWS. I can scale easily, and the price is really nice because you just pay what you use. And Zixi also allows me on a car level to have a kind of flexibility, because usually with the other backpack solution, you have like 2 pack and they will both do bonding. Here I was able to have multiple encoders, so to scale the number of camera, but using a single Zixi instance. So the Zixi was handling all the bonding from multiple encoders at the same time. So having this kind of reliability and flexibility on having everything available in the cloud, it was really fantastic. Because then once you are in the cloud, I was able to decode it to the venue, but I was also able to transcode it, build a multiview in the cloud to have a view for all my feed at the same time. I had statistics, and it's not bullshit marketing. I was able really to put a lot of... You can really control everything. You can control the delay on the encoding. You can control the delay of the decoding. And you have the statistic in OB, in Zixi, and in AWS. So it's really no bullshit. It's not the fake 5G stuff that you see a lot in the marketing. It's really complex to do that on here. Indeed, you cannot have a 100% reliable feed. It's a car moving in city center on a public 5G. But having this kind of flexibility plus the robustness, it's really incredible. Yeah.
Awesome. No, and so I was actually just going to ask about how, to emphasize, you're taking in content from moving cars. And so over to your point, over public cellular connectivity, you found that really the workflow and using Zixi really still was able to be fairly seamless.
Yeah, it was really easy. Like you have a web interface with all the parameters that you need, and you have control on everything. So it's both advanced because you have a lot of statistics on advanced parameters, but it's really simple. Like in the end, it was just setting up an IP on a port that I set up in AWS. And the AWS integration is also fantastic because you don't have to set up any server, etc. You just log in, you put your credit card, and you just can create a new flow, and you link your Zixi instance with this flow. So it's really easy. Like, yes, I'm an engineer, so I know all this stuff, but it's really accessible for anybody. Like, as long as you can do a copy paste, you can do it. And still, you have really real statistics, no bullshit or whatever. So it was really important because when you're in this kind of event, you have a lot of stuff happening. So if it is too complex, sometimes you can be lost, etc. So here, I was really so happy to have this flexibility, the robustness, on the ease of use, because it's just a web page, and you can. I was able to control the Zixi instance in the car through a simple VPN, so it was really fantastic.
Awesome, and it's a highly visible event. There's a lot of pressure, a lot of moving parts. Talk a little bit about the fact that you're getting video from cars. Was there any concern about the connectivity, and a little bit? If you could talk a little bit about the 5G contribution, that'd be great.
Yeah, so indeed, I was not sure because it was the first time I was doing that, and they contact me because it was impossible with other solution. So usually that's where I end up. Like everybody contacts me when they cannot find a on-the-shelf solution. So it can be a specific camera or a specific workflow. So here it was streaming, and a typical streaming solution is not working in this environment because it's really difficult when you want the robustness, the quality on high bitrate, all of that with multiple network feed. On here, really, so I did for some tests, so I use a 5G modem from ZTE. So it was easy because it's PoE modem. I was able to use webbing SIM on it. So it's really fantastic. It's also an important point because you need different network and you need something stable but both easy on a good quality, because you need to stream high bandwidth data for a long time. So here I tested multiple modems. I ended up with these PoE modems. It was really easy because it's PoE. So you can rig it in the car easily. You can put it in good location, facing the window. On having programmable SIM from webbing was also fantastic because when you are on the venue, it's not your country. You need to find SIMs, local SIM from different operators. It's a nightmare. While here, I was able to just order like programmable SIM, just put it in the modem, and select which operator it was. I have just a single APN to enter, a single pin to enter, and done. Then from the portal of webbing, I can choose which operator it is. So it's really easy. And the Starlink was also helping because in some tough situation, the Starlink is not good for a main source of stream because I'm in a car. So the car is turning left and right, so you lose the alignment for the satellite, especially because I was using the mini version. But as a backup or as a complementary source of data, it was really fantastic. Again, it was on public 5G, so sometimes you can go in street where you don't have any 5G or the 5G is poor, or if you need to change operator. So here we did this combo of 4 modems plus the Starlink and being able to scale. Like it was not necessary for me to have more, but here I was able to do some tests and I ended up with this setup of 4 5G modems plus the Starlink. And it's also great to have this flexibility thanks to Zixi because you are not limited to the input. I could add Wi-Fi, I could add a 5th modem if it is needed. I could add a private 5G on the venue if it is needed also. So it's really, really cool to have this flexibility.
So the kind of the, no, I don't want to say this. So the type of connectivity, if you will, you were able to, use 5G, you're able to use Wi-Fi, and you felt good about kind of adjusting a little bit on the fly because, of the other solutions that you had in place.
Yeah, the other solution, I'm quite used to work also on, for example, onboard car for 24 hours of Le Mans, etc. So I already played with other competition solution. It's always shit for this kind of stuff because basically when you have a shitty network and you are not in constant bitrate and you don't handle properly the bonding, you have an issue and then the network will drop and then it will take ages to recover. And when it's recovered, you are again in the same loop and you lose the network. So your quality is always shit in the end. While here with Zixi, it's really stable. Like you have really, it's not just a bonding of different network. It's really adapting, doing error correction. So the data that you use is really small in the end. I was really surprised to have really few data used in the end. And it's really cool to have all these statistics. I was able to check in the encoder, etc. So indeed, I did some tests before the event to validate the possibilities, the feasibility, and it's not perfect because it's a car moving in the city. It's a fashion show, so you have a lot of fashionistas streaming on Instagram in front of the venue. So it's really tough. But in the end, it was even better the day of the show than I was expected. The people on site, they were like, what is this magic? They really thought it was a RF transmission because the signal was flawless and so much high quality. I was delivering per car 2 feed at 20 megabits per second, so it's quite RF quality, but it's something that you cannot achieve with a typical news gathering backpack solution.
So overall, you were pleased with how Zixi was incorporating your workflow, especially given the different elements and factors that you were working in.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really happy with Zixi, and it's even a little bit more than that. It's that without Zixi, this wouldn't be possible at all, because with other solution, yes, it's easy because it's a battery. You plug it, you click on play, and but it's a lot of bullshit about latency. Here you can control it and check it. And you don't have this flexibility, and you don't have this quality, because here being able to stream at 2 times 20 megabits per second per car, it's really a lot. Like usually people cannot do that. A typical stream that you see on YouTube or stuff like that, it's under 5 megabits. So having this kind of quality and this robustness and this control on it, without Zixi it would be impossible. So this was really unique, but possible only thanks to Zixi, definitely.
Given that you're dealing with different types of connectivity, and what are some of the challenges that you're finding in general with bonding or, you know, working with streams over, you know, public 5G, over public 5G or other types of connectivity?
So I already did some tests in the past with already Zixi. I was streaming onboard camera with Obi and Zixi in a car. And at the time, I was already really happy with Zixi. But the main struggle was the SIM. Because when you're when you travel across different country and with car on board streaming, it's typically that you're in Le Mans, then you go in Monza in Italy, then you go in Japan, etc. So you're really changing country and finding local SIM. It's really a nightmare because in some country you need to take a monthly bill. Sometimes you need to show your ID. And here with my 4 cars, with 4 modem per cars, I had 16 SIM to find in the end. So if I had to find that in a coffee shop or something like that, it would be a nightmare. Like it's like 2 weeks job just for that, because you need to go in the shop, you need to buy from different operators. So having this webbing SIM also helped. I think that I would not do it at this scale with 16 modem total without this, because it really helps both on the sourcing, because you have the SIM on you and you can program different operator in different country, but also on a billing point of view, because usually when you take a data plan, you have limited bandwidth, you have limited data rates, you have limited amount of data, and you never know, you have no guarantee. So maybe at some point they will throttle you. So here webbing, it's really nice, like it's really unlimited, it's you pay as you go. So here I think I stream in total like multiple terabytes of data in 5G plus Starlink, because I was streaming like for 1 week long all the car, because the car was parked there, and just to show that it was stable, I was streaming all the day. And it's impossible to have this amount of data on a typical SIM, so it also helps to have this SIM. It's easy to build, easy to source, and easy to use. It was really also a game changer because of the scale of the 16 modem. If you have only a couple of modem in a static environment, then you can source it locally, 1 or 2 SIM, but at this scale it's more difficult. And yes, you can be afraid of 5G indeed, because it's sometimes you have the impression that with your telephone, your smartphone, you cannot go on Instagram, etc. But here, you have good modems. The modem is like 10 times the size of my phone, and it's basically just an antenna, so you have better sensibility. The modem can withstand like 1 gigabit per second, so it's quite high for streaming. I had 4 of them from different operators, so it's really totally different. I was able to stream while I was not able to browse the internet next to it. So it can be like, it's a question indeed, but it's quite, it's a different game. Like you cannot compare your smartphone streaming and 5G with actual streaming like that. It's totally different game. On here, I think also Starlink was something that was also good as a backup. I was not able to use it as a main source of data, but as a backup it's perfect, because when the modem was totally dead, I was able to stream using Starlink.
Awesome. And given, you know, Dior Fashion Week obviously is a major event, and it sounds like the integration of Zixi was very successful, and as you said, it wouldn't have even been possible. What does the roadmap look like? Like, do you see yourself, you know, using Zixi for more events or upcoming events? Or if you could talk a little bit about that, that would be great. It sounds like you'd be obviously more than comfortable and happy to use it, but what does the future look like?
Yeah, definitely. It's here. It was the first streaming that I did using Zixi on the fashion show. I already used Zixi in other fields, but on fashion show it was the first test. But it brought really a lot of interest from different brands. So here, by end of the month, I will do Loewe, which want to do something similar than Dior. So I will continue to do Dior and also Loewe. They want this kind of streaming, etc. And I also work with Chanel for the corporate event, because they want to feed different studio from different location to teams. So when they do kind of corporate events, they want also to have a proper feed to feed into the teams. So it's like a team meeting, but on a corporate level. But they still use cinema camera. They have a proper feed on because it's in different location. Being able to just stream over fiber plus a backup with Starlink, etc. on public 5G from different locations in the world, being able to go to AWS, transcode the feed, stream it in RTMP to Teams. It's really fantastic, because once you are in the cloud, you have really a lot of possibility It's not here for Chanel, for Dior car streaming. It was quite easy because it was point to point, using just the cloud as a rendezvous server. But then once you are there, you have a lot of possibility. You can transcode. You can have multiple outputs of the same feed. So it creates a lot of interest. So I think it's only the beginning, and already here I will do more car streaming from different brands on probably also corporate events with different studio across the world. Yeah.
Awesome. Given the, again, given the circumstances, varying types of connectivity, you would really feel comfortable using Zixi in many different situations or use cases.
Yeah, definitely, because nowadays you have 5G everywhere. You have multiple antennas on multiple operator per antenna. So it's everywhere, and I'm feeling really confident because you have the possibility to mix multiple modems in different location. Because, for example, here my modem was in PoE Ethernet. So if I don't have data here, I can just put a long Ethernet cable and put my antenna in a better location and get data from a proper location, proper angle, etc. So yeah, really, I think that nowadays I would be confident to totally replace even fiber solution by public 5G because if you have the capability to do bonding and you mix different kind of data input, then you can be totally confident, I think, to stream. Indeed, you have some dead zone. If I go in Antarctica and stuff like that, probably I will not use 5G, but you can still use Starlink. You can increase the delay, you can have multiple sources. So yeah, it's totally a good replacement.
And then what about if we could talk a little bit about the quality of the video. Any comments or thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's also something that a lot of people don't understand about the bonding. A lot of people are thinking that you just send the stream on every modem and then you assemble it somehow with magic in the cloud. But here the work of Zixi is really more technical because you are able to fix error, to retransmit really frame by frame, etc. So really the overall bandwidth is really small. It's not because I was bonding over 4 modems that I had 4 times the data. So it's already good because at the end of the day it's the data that is costing the most. So this is really cool, and also having this amount of data because I was streaming 20 megabits per second, 2 feeds per car. So a total of 40 megabits, it's quite huge. Usually people don't do that. And it was fucking stable. I was streaming for like 1 week from the morning to the end of the day. So, and it was really stable. Yeah.
And customers and consumers were happy with the quality in the video.
Yeah, it was really outstanding because again the reaction was is it a ref? What magic is this? Because they never saw it because they are not used to see that in live event because they are more used to this kind of news backpack. So when you look at the news TV, you can stream anywhere at 1 megabit. Yes, but the quality is shit. Here I had a 20 megabit feed per camera, and I was streaming multiple camera from different venue. And the venue were moving across the city. So it's really unique, and they were really amazed. Like, the reaction was, is it a ref? And what kind of magic is this?
Awesome. Anything else to add on the overall? Anything that I missed? Anything you want to cover about, Fashion Week and the experience and the workflow?
No, I think we cover it all. I think this solution was possible because of a mix of really awesome company like OB for the encoding, webbing for the SIMs, having good modems, and Zixi for the infrastructure. It's really fantastic to be able to install it on different computer because it's just software. People are not used to that neither, but it's just a software, so you can install it on different appliances. So it gives you a lot of flexibility. So just on this show, I was using some NUCs, big server from Supermicro, and so having this flexibility to install it on different appliances is really cool. And the pricing model is also really cool. Just in Amazon and you pay as you go, it's fantastic.
And that probably speaks to the kind of the interoperability and how important that is for multiple partners and vendors to come together to create one seamless workflow for you. That was probably
Yeah, the
nice.
interoperability is really fantastic because here indeed I use OB, etc., but I could totally fit to something else, to a different platform. So this is also unique. You are not bonded to a closed solution. Once you are in AWS, you can do whatever you want.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Xavier. That was great. Really appreciate the time.
Thank you.